Have you ever thought about what your pet is really thinking when they just sit there watching the world go by? We often see our animal companions as sources of joy, play, and maybe a little bit of mischief. We love them for their antics and their comforting presence. But what if they're doing more than just observing? What if they're paying attention in ways we can't even imagine? Today, I want to share a story that will make you look at your own pets a little differently. It's a story about a quiet hero with feathers, a white parrot named Luna. And it proves that sometimes the smallest voices can make the biggest difference. White parrots, like cockatoos, have a reputation. They're known for being loud, energetic, and incredibly playful. You picture them dancing, mimicking sounds, and demanding attention with their big personalities. And all of that is true. But beneath that boisterous exterior lies a level of intelligence and awareness that is truly astonishing. They are not just passive observers. They are active participants in the lives of their families. They notice everything. And I mean everything. The slight change in your tone of voice, the way you walk when you're tired, the rhythm of your daily routine. They are masters of pattern recognition. This story is about what happens when one of those patterns is broken. Our story takes place in a peaceful, sunlit home, the kind of house where the passage of time is marked by the slow movement of shadows across the floor. This was the world of Luna, a beautiful white parrot who had lived with her family for many years. From there, she had a front row seat to life. She watched the dance of light and shadow, the comings and goings of her human family, the subtle shifts in the atmosphere of the house. She even knew the different textures of silence, the comfortable quiet of a lazy afternoon, the expectant hush before guests arrive, and the heavy silence of an empty house. Her days were a tapestry woven from these familiar sights and sounds, a routine she found deep comfort in. The air was calm, filled with the gentle hum of domestic life. For a while, everything was perfectly normal. The sounds were all in their right place. But then the atmosphere shifted. It was a subtle change, almost imperceptible. The rhythm of the room was broken. The gentle sounds of Sam's play had stopped. The room became calm. Too calm. An unnatural stillness settled over the space. This was not the comfortable silence Luna knew. This was a silence that felt wrong, a silence that signaled a deviation from the pattern. Luna stopped preening. Her head snapped up, her dark, intelligent eyes scanning the room, trying to locate the source of this disruption. Her entire being went on high alert. Something was out of place. Her sharp gaze landed on Sam. The little boy had done something new, something he'd never done before. He had managed to climb onto a small decorative chair positioned near the window. It wasn't a tall chair, but it also wasn't designed for climbing. It was wobbly, unstable. As Luna watched, her body tensed. The chair shifted just a tiny bit under Sam's weight. It was a minuscule movement, one that most people might not have even noticed. But Luna saw it. She tilted her head, her mind processing the new information. Chair plus child equals instability. The equation was simple, and the potential outcome was dangerous. She continued to watch, her focus now entirely on the small boy and the precarious piece of furniture. The silence in the room became absolute, and in that moment, it was the most terrifying sound in the world. She threw her wings wide open and let out a scream. But this was not her usual playful squawk or a call for a treat. It sliced through the stillness of the house like a siren. She began to beat her wings furiously against the bars of her perch, creating a loud, frantic clatter that amplified her vocal alarm. It was a symphony of pure, unadulterated panic, a desperate attempt to shatter the dangerous silence. The effect was immediate. The adult in the kitchen, jolted by the unholy noise, dropped what they were doing and rushed into the living room, their heart pounding with fear. Their eyes darted around the room, searching for the cause of Luna's distress, and then they saw him, lying still on the floor. In a flash they were by his side, gently lifting him up. He began to cry a loud, healthy wail that filled the room, replacing the terrifying silence. A small bump was already forming on the back of his head, but he was conscious, breathing, and looking at the face of his parent. He was okay. And as quickly as it had begun, Luna's alarm ceased. The moment she saw Sam safely in the adult's arms, the screaming stopped. The frantic flapping ended. She went completely silent, folding her wings neatly back into place. She settled back onto her perch, her body calm, her breathing even. She resumed her watch, her dark eyes observing the scene with a quiet, knowing intelligence. Her job was done. The pattern was restored. The danger had passed. The silence was safe again. She had sounded the alarm, and help had come. From that day forward, the family looked at Luna in a new light. She wasn't just the family jester or the noisy companion anymore. She was a guardian, a protector. They understood something profound in that moment of crisis. Rescue doesn't always come in the form we expect. It doesn't always involve great strength or size or complex actions. Sometimes the most powerful form of rescue comes from paying attention. It comes from knowing the rhythms of your world so well that you instantly recognize when something is wrong. It comes from understanding that sometimes is more dangerous than any noise. And on that quiet afternoon, Luna the white parrot proved that she understood this better than anyone. She was more than a pet. She was a hero, whose love and intelligence were expressed not in words, but in action. She was the silent watcher who knew exactly when to scream. This story really makes you think, doesn't it? It's a powerful reminder that the animals in our lives are more than just companions. They form deep bonds with us, and they are incredibly perceptive. Maybe it is time we all paid a little more attention to the quiet observers in our own homes. What are they trying to tell us? Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share Luna's incredible story with you. If you have a story about an amazing pet in your life, I'd love to read about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the amazing world we live in. See you next time.